Okay guys, so in this video, we will discuss why chopping onions makes us cry. Guys, I think that you all have experienced this thing that as soon as you start chopping, the onions start to tear up. But have you wondered why does this happen? So guys, this is nothing but the defense mechanism of onions against their predators. So you can also understand in this way that they don't want you to cut them, and in order to prevent this, they are releasing such compounds or they're releasing such chemical weapons which create some irritation and itching in your eye. Okay guys, so now let's decode the science behind this. Right? So onion consists of these amino acid sulfoxides, and as soon as you start chopping the onions, then an enzyme which is filled inside the vacuoles, which is known as allinase. So each and every cell consists of a vacuole which is filled with this enzyme allinase, and this enzyme converts this amino acid sulfoxide to sulfanic acids, right? And further, a second enzyme which is known as lacrimatory factor synthase converts this sulfanic acid to syn-propanethiol S oxide, which is a volatile compound, right? Now what is a volatile compound? A compound that easily converts to a vapor state or instantly converts to a vapor state is known as a volatile compound. So this is nothing but a gaseous compound of sulfur, right? So this amino acid sulfoxide is converted to the sulfanic acid by an enzyme which is known as allinase, and further this sulfanic acid is converted to this syn-propanethiol S oxide by another enzyme which is known as lacrimatory factor synthase. And this substance which is in the gaseous state is known as lacrimator. Now why I am saying this substance is a lacrimator? Lacrimator are the substances that produces an itching action or stinging action in your eye, and thereby it produces tears from your eye or sheds tear from your eye. Okay guys, so now we know that chopping of onion produces a volatile compound, that is syn-propanethiol S oxide. And why I'm saying this compound is a volatile compound? Because it easily converts to the vapor state and it starts to diffuse in the air. Okay, so as soon as it starts to diffuse in the air, it makes a contact with our eye, and the water that is present in our eye reacts with this syn-propanethiol S oxide to form these products. Okay, so this is propanol, then sulfuric acid and hydrogen sulfide. So sulfuric acid is responsible for the itching or the stinging action in eye, and this hydrogen sulfide gas is responsible for the irritation in our eye. So now what happens next? So this sends an action to our central nervous system, and it activates the lacrimal gland or the tear gland present in our eye. So this lacrimal gland is also known as the tear gland because it is responsible for the production of tears in our eye. So now this lacrimal gland produces some tears, and why it is producing these tears or why it is shedding these tears? In order to flush out that stinging, or you can say itching and irritating substance which is present in our eye. So further, the second effect which you can observe apart from shedding tears is the running nose. So guys, this lacrimal gland, the end of this lacrimal gland is also connected to the nose, and this is responsible for the runny nose. So first effect is it will shed tears, and the second effect is runny nose. Okay. Okay guys, so now I am suggesting you some of the ways to avoid shedding tears while chopping onions. So the first way is you can wear a goggle while chopping the onions. So the wearing goggles will act as a barrier between the gas and the eye. So if the gas is released while chopping the onions, it won't be able to make a contact with your eye because you are wearing goggles. So the first and foremost effective way is to wear the goggles. The second way is you can chop these onions inside the water. If you are chopping onions inside the water, then the gas that is released will be absorbed by the water and it does not make any contact with the eye. So there is no itching and irritation, or you can say irritating effect on your eye. The third method is you can use a clean sharp knife to chop these onions. Now why I am saying this, you can use a clean sharp knife. If you are using a clean sharp knife, then there will be less damage to the onion cells and there will be less production of this gas. The fourth method is you can switch on the fan. If you switch on the fan while you are cutting the onions, then it will blow this gas away from your eye, and then there will be no itching and the irritating effect on your eye. So there will be no production of tears, or there will be no shedding of tears. The fifth is, before you are cutting these onions or before you are chopping these onions, put them in the refrigerator for around 20 to 30 minutes. So if you'll put them in the refrigerator for 20 to 30 minutes, so it will reduce the rate of enzyme reaction. So it will reduce the rate of the enzyme reaction, and then there will be less production of this gas. So you can reduce the extent. I'm not saying you can completely avoid shedding tears from this method, but you can reduce the extent. So you can apply these 5 methods to reduce shedding tears while chopping the onions.